Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Salty and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Salty's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands. The little tiny corrections and lots of motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar. That is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Knowing that you're going home to live in the city is going to be a totally different lifestyle for these guys, and we want you to have the best control that you can. Now Salty is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise, which is going to be the most important exercise for you at home in New York, is the heel, and the command is Salty heel. Heeling is nothing more than proper leash walking, and we've worked him with his sister, and they can be walked together. If you're getting a dog walker in New York, they will have no problem taking these two for a walk together. And each time that Rich stops his feet, Salty's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. So if you're stopping to cross traffic or stopping to talk to someone, then he knows to sit quietly and wait for his next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit stay. Stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. You're going to want to lengthen out the amount of time and the distance that you can go when he will hold that sit stay. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him as an additional distraction, ending up back where they started, and Salty has learned that at this point he's going to get another command, and they take off heeling again. We have fallen in love with all four of the kids. They're wonderful. They're sweet. They can be overly exuberant, but we're teaching them to sit to get the praise that they're looking for. Stay. Rich leaves him in another sit stay. And this time, instead of returning back to him, Rich is going to call him, and this is your come on command. Great for dog parks when you don't have your own yard anymore. He came in and sat, and then he goes back to heel and back sitting. So that's very important, because you had a problem with the dogs jumping on your guests, jumping on you. Nobody can encourage them to jump. The dogs have to be sitting to get praised. Rich leaves him in another sit stay, walks out to the end of the leash and turns to face him. He uses his name and a happy voice and calls him in again. And he comes right in and sits. And then he goes back to heel. Good boy. Now the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands. These are a little bit harder. No one of the four were very cooperative. Down. This is your down from a heel position. So with him seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. And these can be practiced right in your apartment. Your sit stays and your down stays, and depending how much room you have, even heeling. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him just as he did on the sit stay. Back to heel position, and at this point, Salty expects to get another command. And it's pretty, not as hot and humid as it's been, but you see if Rich slowed his pace, so did Salty, which is perfect. He should walk at your pace. You want to eventually work up to a 5-minute long down stay where you can drop the leash. Out here there's a lot of smells, other dogs have been out here, wildlife. Rich guided him in that time because he was distracted. And the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you on video is the down from a distance. This is Salty's least favorite command because he wants to army crawl into you. So Rich is going to stand like kind of right in front of him or beside him.
Down.
And you can tell that he knows what you want. He's just not cooperative about doing it. So you have to enforce it. Don't let him get away with not doing it. Because all of these commands work together to have a well-behaved dog that listens to you when you speak to him in commands. Now we have demonstrated for you all of Salty's formal on-leash obedience command. His favorite one is belly rubs. We've enjoyed having your guys. We want to thank you very much for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company. And when you get to New York, if you need help, we service New York as well. We'll come by and work with you at home. And thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.